Recording in progress.
All righty, everybody, away we go. Welcome to today's call. This is the one and only TRC telemarketing and sales training call. If you just missed the campfire call, which happens an hour before this, we went over the most critical component of this whole approach, which is a copy of the information product. The whole thing is the product, right? That inside of this, you should be all very familiar that when we are in this group, the way we start a relationship with a seller or a buyer is to get them an information product. Oftentimes that information product includes a cover letter that explains what's in it for them, that we know their context and we can help. It gives them, whoops, out of order there for a second. It gives them the macroeconomic update on how's the market. It gives them the microeconomic how's the market. So if they're selling, what's sold around them. If they're buying, what's sold in their price range in the area they want, plus some for sales, and ultimately what they need. But you can't club them over the head with what they need. So you layer in all these goodies that are contextually important to them and explanatory so that when you walk away from the initial relationship, there's an echo effect. If you are a telemarketer on this call and you have not been given one of these, and then you have not been asked to read it, and then you have not taken notes on it, and then you have not met with whomever is there training you in addition to me, then that's where this starts. Agents, telemarketers, or anybody, that's where this starts. I can protect you 1,000% better when you follow this yellow brick road. And to that end, I think I see you out there, Laura. You're out there, right?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, I want you to speak to our evolution around this package of information and what you think it means to us. And again, seller or buyer, we're getting used to getting our own brains to get every buyer the package too. So maybe you just speak to the seller package first, and as now an evolving manager of other people needing to learn that, talk about your challenges to shift into it, and then talk about your challenges in trying to, keep people disciplined in that yourself, and any epiphanies that you've had about it.
Sure. I mean, I think in the very beginning, it was almost embarrassing what we used to send out in the very beginning of this. I used to actually make the books myself and put them together and bind them and photo. It was just crazy. But with that being said, we still got some results from it, which says so much to the content that we were sending, that it was very helpful for sellers. I think we started out with just having a seller one and then eventually created a buyer book as well. But overall, the evolution, and I believe you all also are fine-tuning it again to kind of level it up once again and kind of make it a little bit more simplistic. Because what I've really gathered over probably the last, I don't know, how long have we had this? Like 7 years?
Yeah, gee, it's a good question. I think the original started with an email drip campaign, right? So the seller and buyer tips, it could be even longer than 7 years. So the origination of getting educational emails was the pre-birth of a real formalized, productized plan in a booklet form. And like you said, it was, stuffed in envelopes and double taped, and we were hacks, right? But the inkling that, evolution out of how we did things. If you could go back like pre this, because you've been around for the evolution so long, go back to before we even did an information product in digital form, let alone physical form. Try to articulate for a second the difference there, because what I'm trying to do at the beginning of this call here is everybody understand that you can be doing something and get stuck in it and not pick your head up and ask yourself if it's best serving the clientele and best serving the business growth itself. So you left for a year, and when you came back, didn't even want to do what we had been doing. So I think that's a critical moment in time. And then I asked you to buy into this new way. So talk about before and after for them too, so that you can emphasize. I would like to hear what you think the difference was and how we did what we did before.
Oh man. It really, and not to be dramatic, but it was night and day. And in my evolution, like when I first started with you, I was a telemarketer.
Mm-hmm.
That's not necessarily what we called my position at that time. It was more of an inside sales agent is what we called it. But in the basic root form, that's what I was, a telemarketer.
Yeah.
So for me, number one, it wasn't my strong suit.
Yeah.
And as we've evolved in knowing, but with that being said, it got my job as a telemarketer just kept getting over the years harder and harder and harder to get people through the door, to get this, what we would call the golden brick, which for them was, you know, instant access to properties for sale and sold, you know, just like realtors. That was kind of our theme and motto. And it just was so hard to get people off the street to physically meet for this, because things became so digital. And in this transition, we then realized that we had to become more digital in providing this information. But with that being said, as much as digital information is speed, like it gets that to people, the flip side is, I think, to be able to hand someone a tangible book of steps that is going to basically hold their hand throughout the process is a gold brick, where what we were offering before was not a gold brick, if that makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
And so having it kind of laid out in layman's terms, I think for both seller and buyer, is everything. Because for most people, maybe they've sold or bought a house, one or two in their life, but the process seems so daunting, yet on top of being emotional. So having that root, that with the plan is basically what roots them into the process and then guides them like a seeing eye dog along the way with our help. Now for us, it just makes our job so much easier, because even if we get lost as new agents, new telemarketers, new client care managers, we can then also lean on the plan.
Right.
Because that also roots us into the process and be like, where are we?
Yeah.
Because this whole process from beginning to end can be emotionally charged. Yeah. So having that thing that roots people into reality and makes it more black and white versus, you know, an emotional thing, it keeps, you know, the emotions down so they can make the right decision for themselves.
Yeah, good. And like I say, you know, the emotions are here for us and them when everything begins. But the more data and information that gets curated, organized, and productized and taught, you at least can bring the emotion down here where logic is back, right? And so I think your recent price reduction conversation, which you and I talked about before you went out there, look, here's where we're at in the process, the feedback mechanism. And I just said this in the call, and I'll credit you because you love this part of this process. I just said to Grant, crickets sing the loudest, right? So silence, nothing happening, is speaking the loudest. So when you can say, look, we did all these things we said we were going to do, and we're at this communicative or feedback mechanism phase, and we're here starting to hear the crickets sing, that's an issue. So you have to go back up to everything that precedes that and question it. You can question our marketing, but you're on the MLS 88% of the time. It's a broker-to-broker sale. So we're not seeing the brokers come, right? So we know your pictures are gorgeous. We know your write-up is professional. We know all this is done correctly. So it can't be that, right? And they're so good that nobody's not coming because they can see the condition of the house is just not matching up with you know what they think it should be. It's your price. And so that logic through the plan just saves you so much inefficiency from having to go in there and have a discussion on muscle and try to muscle somebody to where you need them to be. But I want to go back to something you said for everybody. The genesis of relationships, or the birth of relationships, how they're birthed from that very start sets up this entirety all the way, in our case, through Randy, our closing coordinator, into that world of happy griffins, right? And our goal is to birth every one of these people as a happy griffin, because Laura will be the first to tell you right now, the power of repeat and referred is staggering since we started doing this, right? Like, it's stunning. When I tell you we sold a 1.9 and we're about to close on a 2.96 and potentially sell something for $1 million, that's my point, is that when that person was treated systematically, and in this second transaction, we were surprised at how emotionally charged the family was. And so being able to come to the data and the logic and the market conversation consummates that one and echoes it down. The return on investment of the genesis originally through this package, through the follow-up, all of that, it professionalized me to be able to talk to someone who was my neighbor, who knew me for a long time, but had never considered me professionally until we put this stuff in front of them. So it took me completely out of the equation and professionalized the process, right? And so I think what we've gained, and you can echo this and then we'll get into calls, I think what we've gained along the way too is tremendous efficiency in the use of time. Everybody bitches about time management, but yet they'll go out and give a 2-hour presentation, blah, blah, blahing. Or they'll get on the phone and they'll just, oh no, I can't get past the hello. Well, what hello? All right. You know what I mean? It's like, did you get the words out that you have to get into? So I think what people don't realize is that when a powerful system is built and simplified, it actually elevates us up to the moments where we really make that human connection, where we really get connected in the human way. And if we couldn't rely on it, like I said to Laura this morning when we was doing our management conversation and we were talking about the tactical side. So Laura and I determined today that part of our conversation a week should be tactical. That's about our deals. And the other should be absolutely what do we need to manage to get more deals and to manage the people better, right? So we break that down. But let me go to tactical because it's a tactical call here for telemarketing and sales. It's the same thing. So you're talking to a client care manager here who largely does what I used to do so that I can elevate to work on the business more and grow it, right? So when we looked at this whole thing from Kathy meeting somebody to me going out and realizing, oh boy, this is a gentle situation. We're going to have to tread lightly. I think I should introduce the client care, capital letters, underlined, highlighted, care manager. And the minute we introduced her into the situation, it's stunning how quickly she was able to elevate because we have a plan. Look at your conditioning needs fixing. You need to do the landscaping. We'll get that person. You need to clean. Okay, it's going to take some time. We're going to clean it up. No problem if you need people. And so instead of listing it on, whatever, April 1st, went into the first week in May. So we took 30 days to care. And the reason we were able to do that is because he told me, when I asked him, I said, well, are you thinking about doing this sooner than later? And he said, no. I said, is there any reason why you wouldn't feel comfortable doing business with us? No, this was the best presentation. I had somebody before, but this was the best presentation. So I knew presentation was just to walk through the system. So I knew that he had gotten something that was good enough to get me in. I knew the presentation was good, but we needed to bounce off of that and get into a human connection place very quickly to compete too. So the coolest thing is that when you can bounce off of a system and you can get human fast, it's actually the competition. You're crushing them. They're just not going to leave somebody that cares that much and knows exactly where they are. And you feel this sense of leadership from this group, even though you can't name it. But the minute you start to do that on muscle and there's no continuity in the care, you can lose it in a second. For example, we had an expired that Kathy got that was wonderful. I did most of the work over the phone, wonderful connection. She hired me because I understood her story. I cared about her story. She told me that the other day. But at the very 11th hour, she gets hijacked for a dishwasher because it's not working or whatever the case is. So she gets bent just like that. So she was calling me, and I tenaciously stayed with her because I want to make sure she's a happy past Griffin. Good news is it all worked itself out. We worked through it. We talked about it, and we birthed her as a happy past Griffin. And when the market cools off, we'll be in touch. We'll stay in touch. We'll be there, right? So we're able to go into those caring moments with more calm and peace and energy than we ever were before. In fact, I'm not so sure, Laura, we were able to do it at all because the harried, uneducated approach to business, so transactional, so out of control, did not allow this quality of business. You want to comment on that, and then we'll get into the calls?
Yeah, just quickly, I think we had a business Strictly muscle.
Yep.
Now we have a business that is structured with plans and empowers not only the client, but the system empowers the people that are doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that piece. I think that's really important for all the agents and the telemarketers to hear. We own that as a culture at our company, right? And with Lauren, when we are learning about who we want to recruit, I mean, we really, really want someone to understand what she just said, right? We want our clients to be there. We want our, and especially anybody that joins the company to really understand that if you will just believe us and you will be educationable, right? Teachable, trainable. That's all about the learning of this stuff here. If you will be open to that, you will get empowered. And I'm telling you, when you look at the women in the business that are very close to me in my, core of running this place, they're super empowered. Like I keep getting smaller and smaller. This deal I'm just referencing, I have to play a tiny role there, right? Which is a big role as a manager of all of that's happening, but tiny in the tactical place. So to her point, I gave you an anecdote of where she's completely empowered. And what we started telling, Sherry and Kathy is trust yourself. Go a little bit further, go a little bit deeper, feel a little bit more empowered to make it a firm understanding of where this person's at and what would be best for them. Not just, oh, Danny will help. Oh, Laura will help. No, just to say, hey, you know what? Let me hear that a little bit more. Tell me that. Okay. Well, I think Danny could help, but I think what you should do is just jump on the phone first. Or I think he should come over because I think if he sees that thing, it gets more meaningfully specific, which I keep banging on that gong for everybody to hear me. The more meaningful the specifics are in the relationship, the more intimate it becomes, the more trusting it becomes, right? And so if you empower everybody in the group that's doing this, then all of a sudden they step up into a much bigger version of themselves and they're specialists at that piece, hopefully, right? Telemarketer, client care, outside sales, whatever. We're all specialists. The human being feels that, and the person serving the human being keeps elevating in their pride and their ownership, right? So really important stuff. All right, here we go. Rock and roll. Laura, thank you for that commentary. I just think it's important to sink this in though, it's frustrating to know that you have this and it works for you. And then people say, well, is it working for anybody else? Is it working for you? And if not, why not? Because it's universally a principle that works in business. So if it's not working for you, you have to look in the mirror. You have to sit on the end of your bed, like Jordan Peterson says, and said, I could do this and I should do it. So why am I not? I could do this and I should do this. So why am I not? What's stopping me from becoming empowered by a systematic approach so I can spend more quality time with the humans and have a way more efficient and profitable business? Period. That's your thinking for today, okay? To let that sink in so that when we go through this, you're listening to the first line in the genesis of most of the new business development. These are people who are the first in line. And so if you are expecting the first in line to feed the second in line and the third in line, and you're not microeconomically educating them about how to empower them and why this stuff matters and why they're supposed to understand it, then you're just not managing it yet. Okay. All right. Paul Cantu, you are up first, as I promised you would be this week. So I have your calls here for Michelle. And let me just see.
I don't know if you have the calls or if you have the names. I think she might have had trouble downloading them. She's on the call.
Yeah, I don't see. I see something.
What she's going to do is she's going to play them for us. Since she couldn't send you the audio files, she'll play them over the call for all of us.
Okay, go for it. Let's see if we can hear it that way. Okay.
Michelle, you ready?
Try to turn it way up.
I did email them over, but I don't know if they can. Okay.
Hello?
Ready?
Yeah.
My name is Michelle, and I was trying to briefly receive the reason for my call is because I noticed you tried to sell your lovely home some time back and that it didn't sell.
Uh-huh.
I'd like to send you some great information that will help you sell the next time you decide to do so. May I do that?
Of course.
Yes. And then should I send it to the Shoreline address at 517 North 155th, or I'm also seeing a Dayton Avenue address.
I think Dayton Avenue is better.
Dayton Avenue, sure. And may I ask you why I have you on the line? It looks like it's the property. Why are you trying to sell it?
Why do you have this as their new money?
Okay. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated are you to sell that?
But, just, I don't know. It depends on the buyer.
Absolutely. Well, I'll get that packet sent out to you. Is there a number on?
Oh, there's 30 seconds. Yeah, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Okay. I'll send you that package out and then I'll follow up with you in a week or so just to make sure that it was received and go from there, okay?
Thank you, no problem.
Thank you. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
All right.
I did send you the audio files, Gary.
Yeah. Okay. I'm good. I got it. Great start. That's a really good start. I mean, fabulously patient in your tone, very caring in your tone. Really, I mean, you obviously are good at this. So that was very clear to me that, your history of being patient and kind and all that, really nice. Like, I thought that was good. Now, to routinize these new words, read them specifically, because there's some subtleties early on that you kind of say it. And your brain is thinking you're saying what's on the page, but you're a little bit varied from it. And in this case, especially the opening 5 or 6 lines, that takes about 6 or 7 seconds, we want to really understand it. And Paul, if you've given her just the script and you haven't shown her the mind map, which I can certainly do here too, then they won't know that these laws, which I referenced, these laws of influence. I think I mentioned these in the last call, the campfire call, but this book is like tremendously influential in a lot of the scripting that we use, because the battle is, are we doing this on muscle with triggers and neuro-linguistic programming, which means mirroring and copying what people say to get them to like us, which can be a little bit, it's a borderline. Is it benevolent or is it malevolent? We do need to get this really good information in their hands because it can indeed help them. And we know that. For those of us that have been doing it, and you just heard Laura's been doing this for, I lost count, Laura, 18 or 19 years now? What's the number?
18 in June.
There you go, 18 years. And you see this evolution, and what we would swear by is the simplification, but really intentionality of what we say. It's extremely intentional what we say. And it's based on a lot of these laws that we have to contend with as competitors, because there are people that teach trigger language only. So there are a lot of people that will teach people to get on the phone once a month when expireds happen and muscle and skim as much cream as possible. That's what you're up against. So you have to understand that when we throw you into that dogfight per se, we need to arm you with teeth. So you can be the nicest sounding person in the world, but you need teeth to fight the battle, right? So that's a really yep. Did I freeze?
Oop, you're back.
Okay, good.
We see
Yeah,
you.
it was that's weird. Hang on.
We can't hear your vocal though.
Yeah. Okay, that's totally weird. Brand new Wi-Fi, high speed. Okay, we good? Laura? Laura? Shoot. How about now? Am I back?
Yes, you're back.
Yeah, weird. A little bit of a weird day with Zoom here. Don't know what's going on. It's having trouble finding everything here. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I will continue. I think that the language, it has to be routinized in your brain, and you have to read through it. So And what I would say, because there's some subtleties there, and sometimes, you know, these guys and gals don't have the latest. In the teachable site, Scripts and Prospecting 5/3/22 is the very latest one. And I'm going to show my screen here. So just tell me when you can see it. Hopefully you can, given that some funky thing that just happened. Tell me when you can see this screen.
We can see it.
Okay. All right. So when you get up into some of the stuff up here that we have right here, this is the expired script. Okay. And even when you open up with the script, it's, I want your teeth to come out a little bit more, all of you. Danny, that's, you know, law of authority voice. We want to go a little bit more baritone. Danny? So we say the name with a question mark and we inflect downwards. Not Danny. We don't want to be apologetic. We want to be authoritative. That's a law of influence, right? Because the authority that's picking up the phone is you, and you're the first line of defense. And we trust you to be authoritative. And that's why you've been asked to join, right? All of you. So you want to be that authoritative person. This is a professional from this professional company. That's what law of authority is. Secondly, I'm calling you, and it's in capital letters for a reason. I'm calling you because. Because is also in this book, okay? It's also in here. It is a trigger word. When somebody hears this is happening because, they lean in to see, what does this mean for me? Why? There's something in this for me, good or bad. I don't know yet, but there's something. I saw your beautiful home online. Those words, that order, are impeccably important, right? So beautiful home online. We don't say I saw it in the MLS and I saw, you know, there is a secondary thing. Okay. I'm calling you because I noticed you tried to sell your beautiful home a while back and it didn't sell. Okay. That's fine. If these are old leads, then that's what you would have said, but not if they're not old leads, right? If they're not, it's very specific language. And the notes out here are that it's a context trigger. So we're triggering them to let them know we know something about their context. That's what because does. And the second law that's in there, when we say saw your beautiful home, okay, that triggers the law of likability. You become the likable character because when you compliment somebody's property, you compliment them. A property is a very personal thing, unless, of course, we get the roughneck investor. But even those folks, they fall in love. Everybody falls in love with their property. So those words matter. The third beat. So I'd like to send you some information. Information is important because we are in the information age, and that's what this is. And it's important information because it's been curated. We scoured the earth for it. Organized, we put it in the right order. Productize it, we put it in an easily digestible form that's physical, and we're going to deliver it. So all of that's behind this one tiny line. And what that does is it kicks in the law of gift giving or reciprocity. So I'd like to give you a gift. And then the last thing is the law of permission marketing. May I do that? You're actually getting permission to send them material that is helpful in and of itself, but of course it carries marketing weight because it markets how the company does business. We do business by giving away our best stuff for free. And of course, there are subtleties in here that if you want to learn about the company, off you go to this professional website that is a sister to this product, right? So all of that stuff is just super precise. It's super simple. Every word has a reason. It's not my obsession to control freak something. It's my obsession to try to use all of these laws to give you teeth to compete against all the other people that are going to call, including the skepticism of the person that you'll meet on the other line. We need teeth. Those are our teeth, right? But you can make it sound like the sweetest wolf in the woods, right? That's what you can do. But as long as you don't back down and sound apologetic. So now the next thing, yes, great. May I confirm that your best mailing address is this? And then you're done. But what are you sending or what's happening? We can get into this. And the reason why we changed the order of how it appears, in here, I'm mailing you a list of properties with pictures and details that sold in your price range while you're on the market. That's a massive trigger of curiosity, right? Nobody takes the time to go look and see what they lost to, even if they could get it on Redfin or our site or whatever, even if they could get the sold information and do a search like that, even if they could get it, they won't, and they wouldn't even know how to organize it a little bit above, a little bit below, a little bit of the parameters. So that's a big deal, right? And then we keep this part simple. And I'm also, including a copy of our 7-step plan. This is a mind map that I've gone a little bit further by saying a market update that will show you the specifics of the market, blah, 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 right? But the point is, you want to be able to articulate it. So it should be all spread out somewhere in your room where you work to be athletically ready to say 1, 2, 3. These are the things you're going to want, right? Now, this is where we went on a little bit more. I will call you next week to make sure that you receive the information. So we're going to finish with the law of authority. We're going to control it. What you made it sound like was sort of, I'll call you in a week or so. No, I will call you next week to make sure you got it. It's really important information. What's the best day and what's the best time to call you? That's an evolution of the system. We've learned that because you just got a package out the door. Bravo. Congratulations. And it's going to go to a person who seems interested, right? And he's a little bit confused. So he's trying to sort this out. Why are you trying to sell it, right? I mean, those words have to be in there. So I think we get the first beat down. We got to get into the second beat and we go from there. Okay. So I just wanted to show the mind map more so to show the psychology of the persuasion. And then to really, Paul, the two of you need to go back and forth and read, right? You need to read the full script back and forth and make sure you're reading the latest one off the website, right? Yes?
Yeah, it's a conversation different time. I'm still having trouble accessing this site. So we can talk about that offline.
I can't hear. No, you mumbled that. I can't hear that.
I'm having trouble still accessing the Teachable site. We can talk about that one-on-one later.
Okay. Off we go.
That's all.
Next. Yeah, Michelle, good job. Yep, just be precise now. Let me go back in my list here and just see that I pick up the right. I have Michelle, you sent the other Michelle, you sent me one. That was an email about the link though. So Pierna is next. Pierna, you with me? Is Sarika with me? Pierna and Sarika?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. So I have 3 of them from you. Is there, unless they're all the same?
I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah, cool. All right, well, let's take one. Yeah, we'll take one and we'll see how we go, and we'll come back to the others later. Let's see.
Hello. Yes, hi, is this Mary? She's went to see the doctor. She's at doctor's office. Okay. May I take the message, please? Who's this?
No, maybe you should go to the.
Yeah, so that I'm the owner. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay.
My name is Mukti. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. What's your name, please?
Irina.
Okay, really sloppy in the beginning. Tell me what's going on here, right? You got thrown off very easily by it wasn't the woman. So
yeah, I guess that was the worst recording to give you.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's the best one. Because if this happens, this is like what's really coachable. Because
yeah, I guess it was. Yeah,
yeah,
it was.
yeah.
I think I kind of jumped the gun and probably assumed that she wasn't going to understand me. I don't know.
You definitely. You had some psychological stuff going here instead of trusting this. So it's a very coachable moment because what I'm going to ask you to do is just read the dang thing and trust it, right? Because what Laura said, it was very poignant for you right here in this moment. You can trust it. It can empower you, right? So you're making these judgments, and this takes a while, believe me, to be trained in this. We all have our biases when we come in. Oh, she's not going to understand me. This isn't the right woman. And all that just went through your head like that fast in 34 seconds. So you defeated yourself, right? In at least those 34 seconds, I'll keep listening and see where it goes. But this is what it sounds like when we get drawn into trying to do this on muscle. So immediately you're outside the structure and it's 34 seconds deep already, right? I don't know how long it would take to say, Pierna, this is Danny Griffin from Griffin Realty Group. The reason I'm calling is because I saw your beautiful home online and I noticed that it didn't sell. So I'd like to send you some information that would help you sell it the next time. May I do that? It just doesn't take that long. So whatever that takes me to get out of my mouth, there's sort of the beat and the way that it goes. And so, you're getting into it. The other thing is, I think being athletically ready to read something even early on, because it's not routinized. And I know that Sarah is still trying to, catch up to being good at meeting with you. And I'm trying to calm her down and quiet, Anita down. You two just need to sit there and read through the entirety of the script, see where it leads to the seller qualifying questionnaire, so that when that's passed off to Sarah, there's no guessing, there's just doing. The package goes. Now, there's a callback time, specifically when and where that prospect's been created, right? That's a routine that takes a while to keep reading through. So in your head, you don't do what you just did. Because what happened is you got stressed the minute you realized it wasn't her. Right? So whether you know that consciously or not, after listening to thousands and thousands of hours of calls, I do. I know that what happened is your cognitive load came in, it biased you, it confused you, and you sort of start rambling. Now, the good news is the lady's nice, but now she's making you go back to your formula. Who is this, please? See? Because all we had to say is, Mary? No, this isn't Mary. Is this the owner of the house or whatever? It gets a little tricky there. There's no doubt. You could just go, well, the reason I was calling Mary, right? In your head. So, I'm so-and-so from such and such company. And I was calling Mary because I saw her beautiful home online and noticed it didn't sell. So I wanted to send her some information that will help her sell it the next time. Do you know when Mary would be home again? To see if I can get permission to do so. You know what I mean? That's a default to it, right? So It's almost like no matter what, get the words out. Let's not worry about who we're talking to. Get the words out, right? And there's the training and the coaching on how to adapt when you're not necessarily talking to the person whose name is on the list. Just go through it. This is me. I'm calling because I noticed this person's house was online. Just go there. We do too much fumbling and stumbling in this group. Well, is Mary so-and-so the owner? And we're trying to qualify the data, right? That's what we're trying to do. And that's not on the telemarketers. That's on the people. You give us the feedback. Hey, this data is crap. You're giving me. I keep getting the wrong owners. Great. We'll deal with the data company. But in the meantime, I think you should just default towards getting the words out. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's hear what it sounds like.
And yes, I'm calling from the office of the United Territory Realty team. I'm calling because I saw your beautiful home online.
Good recovery.
And I noticed it didn't sell. So I'd like to send you some information that'll help you sell it next time. May I do that?
Great. Good recovery.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good
We
recovery.
can take a look. Yeah, where are you calling from again? The United Territory Realty team. May I confirm your address? It's 16
My address?
Your address to mail it to is it 16 4th Avenue or is it a different address?
Yeah, you can send to that 16 Forest Avenue, Lawrenceville, New Jersey.
Oh, it's not Trenton. It's not Trenton, New Jersey.
No, it's in Lawrenceville. I don't know. Somehow the computer, that's the way it did it based on the area zip code. I don't know. I'm having problem changing that. But the house is located in Lawrenceville, not in Trenton.
Okay. Now, let me ask you a question. By the way, while I have you, it looks like a beautiful property. Why are you trying to sell it?
Oh, I'm a real estate investor. I fix and flip, and then I purchased that home. I fixed it, and then it is vacant. I'm selling that.
Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated are you to sell it?
I'm 10. I'm here to sell that house. I don't need to. I don't live there, and then I fixed it, and then it's now ready to sell it.
Okay, so because you're so highly motivated, I'd be happy to have an agent deliver the package herself and stop and give you some insight to help you sell it next time. May I do that?
Yes, sure, you can do that. What's your name, Harriet? What is it?
No, her name is Anita.
N-I-A?
Yeah, let me spell it for you. You ready?
Yes.
A-N is a Nancy, A is an apple, I, T is in Tom, A. Her last name is T is in Tom, A-R-A, P is in Paul, O-R.
Start again. Last name one more time.
Just say the letters slowly. Yeah.
No, T is in Tom, A is in apple, R is in Robert, A is in apple, P is in Paul, O is in Oscar, R is in Robert, E is in egg.
Okay.
Now, I'm just going to ask you a couple, and I'm going to, is this the best telephone number to reach you? 609-649-8531?
That's my number. My first name is Murthy, Moorthy. Last name Mallipudi, Malli, P like Paul, U like umbrella.
Now you're both playing the game.
Okay, and how many bathrooms do you have?
Okay, good. So you get into the qualifying questionnaire. This is good.
Does it have a basement?
Yes.
Is it finished or unfinished?
I don't know how to describe, but it is completely cleared and then painted, and then both the basement and then the walls and ceiling and everything, but no rooms were built. Is that considered a partial or unfinished? I don't know. I'm saying that as a partial finish.
Okay, and how many bathrooms do you have?
2.5 bathrooms.
Okay. And I'm sorry, and you said you invest in properties? Is that why you're selling it?
That's correct. I fix and flip.
Okay.
So I'm here to sell retail price only.
And when did you buy this home?
I bought this a couple of years ago, but I renovated last year and this year. I didn't renovate for the first year at all. I didn't touch it because I was busy. So I renovated last year, 2021 and then 22. We just completed about a month ago. Yeah.
Okay. And when did you pay for it?
What is that?
When did you pay for it?
What did you pay for it?
What do you mean? When did I pay?
Right. You're confusing her.
Well, one of the questions is when did you pay
I'm not
for
clear.
it?
Well, that's not right.
Did you pay for it? Is it paid off?
Oh yeah, I don't have any loans on it.
Okay, and when did you do that?
I think it's in 2019 I purchased.
Okay, have you done any upgrading?
That's what I did, fix and flip. It's all completely renovated.
Yes, you did say that. And what's the best feature of your home? What's the best feature of your home?
Well, the best feature, I would say, it is a 3-level house. There are countless upgrades to list and too many improvements, and kitchen, bathrooms, they're all new. And all new appliances, 2 air conditions, one for the top floor, one for the bottom floor. They're all new. New electrical work.
Okay. So this is good. You're deep into the process already, right? You with me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
You're deep into the system and you're booking appointment. How does this end?
I booked the appointment.
Okay. Bravo. Because there's nothing we can ask for more than being effective. And you're early on in this. This is good. You know, for a rookie at what we do, this is good. It's patient. Now for some critique, okay?
Yes,
Just routinize with Sarika the words in the process. It's good. You throw a couple reset, words in there. Well, let me ask you a couple questions. Those are word whiskers, we call them here, where you're just trying to reset yourself. Best if you have the system in front of you, just kind of have it's sort of like, you can't see my fingers here, but, just have your finger on the script, go to the next one while she's talking. So you have a placeholder, go to the next one. But the way that you could even avoid that when you're actually in the job is to role play the words Read the words out loud to yourself, read them back and forth with Sarika, because what's just simply not there yet is the tightening around the process in your brain. But that's why cheating towards reading it is helping you. And you're doing that here. And what I like is your recovery is, and you've proven it to yourself, not me, that the minute you got back to the system, like Laura said, you can get all chaotic and it starts to, you lose control, and you got control again. By how? Going right back to the system. Like, because when she said 9 to 10, the system says, because you're so highly motivated, I could have, and, you know, don't say the agent, say, I'd love to, you know, make this, here's the real critique here as you routinize it. I want to hear the real you. You know, there was one small moment in there where, because I interviewed you, I know you, and I know your enthusiastic voice. I've heard it before, right? You were enthusiastic when you knew she wanted to meet. You went to a different voice, right? It was more enthusiastic. It was more excited. And it makes sense that it would be in that moment because you're being successful. You're actually booking an appointment, which is a wonderful feeling for a telemarketer, right? I found one. I booked it. This is great, right? But your voice goes up a couple of levels in happiness. Try to find happy in your voice when you're doing this, because we're of service. And it's a great moment to get away from all our own BS that we have to deal with in our life and serve. There's no more freeing moment than to serve somebody and not be burdened by all the stuff that we have going on, right? That makes sense to you?
Right.
Yeah. And that's what's cool about this business. You do a fabulous job here with this lady, right? This is really good because it's effective. So you can't critique that at all. What you can just ask yourself to do is enjoy it more, right?
Okay.
Yeah, just enjoy this a little bit more and routinize the words. Bravo,
Yeah,
Prima.
because sometimes if I'm too over the top friendly, then I'm from New England, you know, I talk fast, but they kind of hang up on you too. So I was trying to kind of take my time.
I liked it. I liked it.
That's what I was doing.
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it. I'm not looking for speed.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a smile in your voice with the exact same pace, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Even if you smile a little bit, it will seem weird, but it changes the chemistry in your body. Yeah. Your pace is fabulous. I have nothing wrong with your pace at all. Okay.
Absolutely.
Good. Hang on one second. Somebody was echoing. Yeah. So that was really good. I mean, for somebody that's brand new to the system, you know, I think, and Michelle, going back to your original first call, right? That was, you know, you had that happiness in the voice, and you just needed the more precision on the words too. So you see the critique, how it's just common, right? And that's why I keep using this term about routinizing or making it a routine, the words, the precision of the words, and why those words are precise. So somewhere between those two calls, between the two of you, the components are there, right? They are, and they're good. Yeah. So bravo for both of you being rookies at this. I just, you just can't ask for more than effectiveness. It's so thrilling to hear you all be effective. It's empowering to me as a coach to feel that, like, holy crap, that was really good. It was effective. I mean, of course, I can beat the crap out of the details and make you better. Sure. But I can't ask for more than being effective. That's good. All right, let's move on to the next one here. Bravo, ladies, for being early and often on this thing. That was good. Let me find out where my stuff is here. Next, I have, let me see. Michelle, here's your call. I had the email, but here's your call.
Hi, good morning. I am calling for Tina Callaghan. 24 right now.
That's my wife. How can I help you?
Oh, okay. I can speak with you. That's great. Hey, my name is Michelle, and I'm with Reno Real Estate. And the reason for my call is I just noticed your beautiful home online and that it didn't sell. And so I just want to know about some information that would be helpful in selling it next time. May I do that?
We actually purchased the home.
Oh, you bought the home on Southern Lane?
Yes. So we're
Oh,
not
it's never been for sale since then. Fair enough. Okay. All right. Sorry for the confusion. Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, fine. You rooted out. You're just a little too quick, right? So here we go with this Goldilocks coaching today, trying to find between all three of you the right speed and pace. You could pause a little bit more because this is an issue, right? This is an internal issue that if you're getting data from a service to call and your expectation is that this person tried to sell and didn't, and he's saying, we actually bought that home, right? That I'm not selling that home. We need to go back and analyze that with Will right away. Well, what is right? What does that mean? We got to get into MLS right away and find out, how did Will pay for a lead that's not expired? You follow me?
Yes, I do. It happens. I mean, even happened with the last broker I was with, and I don't know how it happens, but I don't think it's anything Will's doing wrong per se. I just think that.
Well, I didn't say Will's doing
Sometimes
something
it
right.
happens.
Yeah, I didn't say Will's doing something right. I said the company is providing the information is right,
Sure,
and that merits, like, those are vendors we pay to set you up for success. So even if the other guy gets them too, well, then it's a common theme. Something's wrong. I'm the owner of a company and that happens to me, or Laura has the green light, pick up the phone and say, yo, Vulcan, Redex, like, how is this stuff coming in here? Because every time that interferes with your ability to do the job, the inefficiencies get crushed, right? I mean, the efficiencies, they get crushed. So we want to know that one. And you want to make note and say, hey, I want to just send you this call. This is bad data, right? So something's up. So slow down a little bit more and be curious for the business and for your own protection going forward, because you would want that resolved. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Good. And I mean, you have the positive in your voice. It's just, I think with you, by reading through this and slowing it down a wee bit, and I know you've been trained to go with speed and skim the cream. I know your challenge, so I'm respectful of that. It's just that when you shift gears into this methodology, just slow down a little bit, right? Because we want to bring things to better conclusions. I can't remember whose call it was earlier, but the rush was, I think it was, the first Michelle's. It was, I'll call you. And so, no, we want precision. We want strong language. It's precision. Oh, really? Geez, that's funny. I have you on a list for an expired listing. So this wasn't something that you ever tried to list and sell. Is that right? Because I want to make sure I talk to the data company. Be the business mind in that moment.
Okay.
Cool. Good job, though. Good tone. Very positive tone. Very positive. You're welcome. Try to get me something that goes a little bit deeper next time, right? That's not just a see you later type of call, so that we can go into it a little bit deeper.
I realized, like, all week, literally, I talked to 2 people. Everybody else either sold it or it was a rental.
Yeah, good. Yeah. And again, that's the hazard of us trying to get to this cooling market. Once we get to the cooling market, you won't have that problem, right? So it'll cool in Arizona, and there'll be more expireds, and there'll be more people that have to fly to qualitative help like this. So it'll come to you. It'll come.
Okay.
I get it.
Fair
Awesome.
enough.
And thank you for sending me whatever you had then in that case. It's good.
You're welcome.
Yep. All right, Kathy Dillon. This guy talked to a couple of times. Don't really think he's a prospect because there's not clear title, and he doesn't want to put it on MLS because of this. Hoping for private sale. It is a Chatham home. That's weird. It doesn't clear title. He wants a private sale. I don't think he's a valid prospect, but he's open to receiving and talking to you. Okay, good. Let's check this one out. This is interesting.
Hello.
Hi, James. It's Kathy calling from Griffin Realty Group. I just wanted to follow up. Last we spoke, you said that you were going to see how things went over the couple of weeks since I last spoke to you, and were maybe considering listing your property.
Kath, you with me?
Yes.
So I would be meaningful, specific in that moment. It's a subtlety, but when you're calling back, there was a little pregnant pause there versus like going right into, like, if you have that context, hey, it's Kathy from Griffin Realty. I'm calling because the last time we talked, you wanted 2 weeks to figure out what, right? So you bring them back to what he gave you. It's like tennis. You gave me this. You said, call me in 2 weeks. I'm giving it back to you. It's like a hot potato game. Follow?
Yep.
So what was the thing, just out of my, curiosity?
He has a legal issue, and I looked back at my notes, and he didn't tell me the first couple times I spoke to him. He just said he didn't want to get into it. But I don't know why he doesn't have a title, but he hasn't cleared title.
Okay, here we go. Let's keep going.
I wanted to check in and see if there's an update.
Not really. It's still in the hands of lawyers that are looking in this situation. So I'd say we're not going to do anything for another month and a half probably until I can get a better feeling about what's going on with the paperwork. So I think at this point we can just let it go, if you would, and if we decide to list it, we'll let you know.
Okay, that sounds great. And if we can send you anything in the meantime, if we can send you updates of properties that sell in your price range, I'd be happy to email that to you.
I guess that might not be bad, but I mean, if at this point we're looking just to have probably try and do a private sale. But if you have a client that you would want to bring in that's a client of yours and will pay for your services, then we could obviously discuss that, especially if they were understanding of the situation.
Sure. So you feel at this time that listing it on MLS is not going to happen? You think it'll definitely sell on private sale?
I don't really.
Okay, that's an interesting, almost muscular waltz down the lane. In the context of the system, let's think about this. At that very moment in time, because you've called some people that we were trying to do private sales with. When Bilodeau was looking for a property, you were calling people that would have been essentially a private sale versus a public sale on the MLS, right? So you're getting into, something that, what's the outcome that we're after here? Let's just go back to that. Let's reset. What's the outcome we're after?
The outcome, and I probably should have said it, that if the legal matters are cleared up, would you be open to selling your property? Would you be open to putting it on MLS?
Well, why would you say, would you be open to putting it on an MLS? Why would you say that?
Because he mentions a couple times, maybe not so much so far, but he mentions that he really thinks it's going to go private sale. And then he explains in a minute that he doesn't want to put it on MLS because he doesn't want to deal with people wanting the property. And then he has to explain why he can't sell the property until the title's clear.
Okay. Who could potentially solve that?
You.
Amen, sister.
I don't know. I really don't know.
No. You're making it way too complicated. Amen, sister. Who can solve the problems? Me. And if I can't, I'll tell him after I talk to him.
Okay.
After I see his property. So the outcome never changes. So what's happening is you're getting stressed out by a new situation you've never really encountered before. And you're also not just trusting what you do extraordinarily well, which is get me on the phone with the guy. Right? Say, well, I'm doing one in Dern Street right now in Boston. We have a massive issue. The owners sued the developer, and this thing's been in litigation for 2 years, and I'm really close to solving it. It's not an easy one, and I might have to rent it for the guy for 12 months to let it all settle and get cleared up. But I'm really close to solving it. One way or the other, I'm going to sell it or I'm going to rent it, and I'm going to help this guy move on. That's what I do, right? That's what any good agent does, that we get into the situation, go, oh, that's interesting. What do you have, a title issue or something cropped up? And again, you're reiterating. So if the private sale would somehow solve the problem? Because you still have to explain it to that person. But you don't need to get into it with him. I do. The minute there's a solvable problem or potentially solvable, book the appointment, period. End of story. Because if we're going to try to sell something privately, what do I need to do? Think logical. Yeah, yes, you do. Yes, you do.
If it's going to sell privately, then you're out of the picture.
No. Privately, do you understand what private sale is?
Someone would be interested in the property that did not find out about it from MLS.
Okay.
So
could I potentially bring a buyer there?
Yes, and we get into that at the end of the call.
Hold on. Don't rush. Could I potentially bring somebody there?
Yes.
Why would I bring somebody there if I haven't seen the property?
You wouldn't.
There you go. It's just very obvious, isn't it?
It is obvious. And I do talk about you in the call, and you'll see the rest of it. But I thought we were just too premature for you to go in the door, because I thought that you would not want to move forward until the legal issue was behind us. Now I know differently.
At 3.7 million dollars in Chatham, I'll go right now.
Okay.
I'll go right
That's
now.
why I said to you on the email, is
Yeah.
this a prospect or not a
I'll
prospect?
go.
I honestly didn't know.
What I always say to you is at luxury, just default to yes, right?
Okay.
Default to yes, because it gets me in somebody's face. I might have a better resource than the resource he's using, or I understand it, or I have experience, and at least I get there. And kinesthetically, things have changed, right? So now I can see it. Now I can figure it out, right? But I have a chance. From afar, from the bleachers, I have no chance. So what's the first ticket you've been able to get me in that's actually monetized twice for some pretty big dough? One's 440 and the other one's 785. What's the first methodology? Get me on the phone, right? I'm sure Danny would love to hear what the challenge is, because I'm sure he'd love to try to sell it privately. I have a website that I could send a photographer out there, take all the beautiful photos of 3.7, put it up as an off-market sale tomorrow morning, push it around myself, and try to procure somebody for it. Because if you listen to him, what he's saying is, I don't want to explain it to anybody. So I want to try to resolve it. But you can't get him to pry open what's going on. Maybe I can, right? So let's listen to the rest of the call.
Yes, you're educating me on this. I appreciate it.
Good.
We want to get into MLS and having house tours and all that going on until we know we have clear title.
Good.
And everything is resolved.
That's logical.
It's just a matter of timing of when it gets done. And the lawyers are all assuring me that it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when.
Oh, that's good news.
So I just want to get closer to knowing when before we would go down the road of listing it.
I understand.
So if somebody comes along, and as the lawyers say, people buy these houses all the time with this defect because it's already been filed. It's just a matter of time, and they want a house for the summer. They could have a house for the summer. So if we want to go down that road and have a customer or a client that is understanding, then we'd be willing to talk to them. But I'm not going to list it as MLS and then have people come back and say, oh, well, we didn't know, and all this.
Yes.
I've been down that road twice with different buyers, and I'm not going to do it a third time. So
that's understandable. That's completely understandable. Well, What I can do is just grab your email address from you and send you properties that sell in your price range. That way, even if you sell private sale, you'll at least know what's happening in the market, so you can figure out how to price it right. Our broker, Danny Griffin, whether you go with him or not, it would be a good person to talk to when you do come around to selling it, whether private sale or on MLS, because he's very good with a plan that he can customize for you and help you with the pricing of it.
Okay.
So what is your email address?
J Sears 11.
Okay, great. I will send you a list of properties that are selling and have sold, and I will keep in touch and just see what's happening. And I will certainly let Danny know that if he has a potential buyer, then we will certainly get in touch with you.
Okay. And does he do rentals as well or not?
No, he does not. Are you thinking about renting it?
Well, if the house is going to sit, depending on what the lawyers say, if the house is going to sit empty for the summer, I would consider renting it for the summer, yeah. Or
Sure.
if we had somebody, for a month minimum would be. So if somebody wanted to.
Yeah, just get me there. It's dragging. You know what I mean? Like there's enough here, and you're repeating like what's coming to him too many times. You don't need. Yeah, you just don't need to do it. You sort of lost here, and it's a very obvious situation. Say, geez, is there a possibility Danny could stop by and see it? That's it. That's it.
So I'll pick up the phone and
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah, just say, I was talking to Danny about it. He'd love to stop by and see it, so he knows what he's talking about, right?
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, does he do stuff in Chatham? He say he just sold one about your price range in Provincetown. He just did one in Wellfleet. He comes into situations like these that are tough. That he loves these. So he'd love to see it. Period. That's it. Just lighten the load. Cognitively, it sounds like you're fighting it a little bit, right? Your tone is great with the guy. But when you start to repeat some of these lines, they're word whiskers, right? hey, listen, you know what I should do? Let me just get you the market update so you stay up to date because the market's a little volatile right now. I give you your talking points, right, for the month, right? So it's a little bit volatile right now. Pricing's all over, but luxury's strong. So let me keep you up to date as things go pending and sold in Chatham. You can find out exactly in this price range what's happening, right? And I'll send you out the market update too. If it goes longer, you'll stay up to date. But I'm sure Danny would love to stop by and see the property so he understands it. Maybe he understands a little bit more about your problem because he loves to solve stuff like that. And then you give him anecdotes. He's got one in Beacon Hill in your exact price range where he's solving a problem during a lawsuit, just like yours. Hang on to those anecdotes, right?
Okay.
Cool.
Yes.
Good. Bravo. Yep. Very good. 3.7. So, that's all good, right? All right, let's zip through a bunch of these. Okay. Maxie, here we go. I'm going to go a little bit faster now.
Okay.
Hello?
Hi, Judy.
Yes.
Hi, good afternoon. Maxie here with Vice Barth and Associates. I see that you registered at a property search website, SeattleHomeBuyersGuide.com. I wanted to check if you're receiving the right properties. Is that okay?
Well, actually, I'm on my way out the door. I've got a appointment to go to it in about 15 minutes. I just headed out my door.
Okay.
Can
Well,
I call you back? What was your name again?
this is Maxie. You were the one who tried reaching me too. Can I try you back this evening?
Oh, what was your number?
206 569 8393. You just left me a couple of voice messages.
I don't remember calling you. What was 206?
Give her the context, right? If she called you and left you a message, this is what I was saying to Kathy. There's this pregnant pause in both of these calls where you're letting them do too much work, right? Like, give them the context. That's very important on new people we call, people who are calling back. Hi, this is Maxie. But you beautiful opening. Like, you're just getting so good at that. I mean, it's like listening to the siren, and I want to steer my boat right into the rocks where you're calling and singing for me because it's just so good. So that's really deliciously good. It's here where you start to, you're not controlling the outcome here. Right? I think you're doing fine to see when can you call her back. And by the way, you called me back, so I want to make sure I get a good time to get you. You had called and said this, right? Just be specific. Because she's elderly and she's having to work too hard, right?
Yeah.
So, oops, we stuck here. Shoot. Hang on. Let me just refresh this.
I didn't really have to call her back anymore because in that call she said she's working with an agent already.
Okay.
So
okay, good.
Pretty much.
Okay, well then we'll move on from it. But very, very good in the beginning. I like, and that's what I assumed you did. I assumed you fought for this a little bit more, so it's good. What I'd like to hear from you and Russell is I want to hear some follow-up calls from you guys, okay? Like real follow-up. You've been sending stuff, you've been touching base. I'd like to see that, because what I want to get you to doing managing your book, I want you to be very aware of the prospects you're creating. I don't want them buried in a database. I want you to know your top 20 names. And I want to hear some of those callbacks that, what does it sound like when you're following up with somebody that you know is going to be a winner? Okay?
Okay.
All right. And Jelly, and by the way, Maxie, was it your birthday last week?
Yep, the 29th.
Oh, happy birthday, darling.
Thank you.
All right. That's the only time you get off from me. Happy birthday. All right, here we go. Angeli.
Hi, Bill. Bill?
Who's calling?
Yes, hi. My name is Jordan. I'm calling from Jag Realty Group, the VSP. And I'm calling because I saw your research online and it was being sell. So I'd like to send some information that would help you sell it next time. Can you do that?
Which
house are you talking about?
Yeah, the one in River Shore Drive.
Oh, I see. Okay. I leased that for 1 year to a gentleman. I agreed to take it off the market while he lives there.
Okay. Are you planning to still sell it after the lease?
Oh, yeah. After the 1 year, yeah. We'll make another run at it. Maybe then people will understand riverfront property a little better.
Okay. Oh yeah. As I mentioned earlier, I'd like to send you some information that would help you sell it next
Are
time
you
when
from,
you're
are
around
you
it.
from Grand, your phone's Grand Ronde, Oregon?
Actually, we're based in Portland, and I'm not sure what's showing your end because we're using an internet phone. So
Name of the company?
Name of the company is Jag Realty Group.
Jag. J-A-G?
Yes. Well, anyway, as I mentioned, Dale, I wanted to send you some information that would help you. May I do that?
I'm being inundated with brokers right now. So in a year, call me about 2 months before the year's up and check back with me about this house.
Oh, okay, then we'll just call you back at that time. Thank you for your time, Dale. Have a good one.
Bye.
Yeah, not bad, Angeli. Angeli, are you with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, he's actually a real prospect. You know what I mean? Like he tips the scales at the longest I would want to see in a database. He does fight you a little bit on, the information. And so, he's probably truthfully saying, and it is not really super relevant. The only problem with that is nothing goes, right? So what you could do in this case is call him back and say, what I was thinking, I didn't really tell you what I was going to send you. It's not just broker information. This is stuff that's sold in Riverfront when you were on the market. Follow? Yeah. Complete with pictures and details. So I'd give him another try and say, we talked the other day and I was thinking, I didn't explain to you what I wanted to send you. Was not information about Jag. Sure, there'll be some of that, but I want to send you, the properties that sold in Riverfront, if that's an area or whatever, he's describing a riverfront. I want to send you what sold when you were on the market. So that will give you some insight as to what people were buying. May I do that? Right? So it goes back to this whole defense of the information, because this is a common objection. Oh, everybody's calling me something. Yeah, you're going to help me send me something that can sell. That's, you're fighting, and I said this earlier, you're fighting against his cynicism. Why should I take your information above and beyond all the others, including not accepting anybody's? The last part is cynicism, right? Do you know what I mean by cynicism? He's a cynic. He's a disbeliever. He doesn't believe, right?
So what I actually understand from what he's saying is that my plan is to refresh him a bit when he's closer to being ready. Because he said that what I understand from what he's saying is that he's overwhelmed with the realtors right now, which he's not ready to sell yet. And when he does, is ready to sell, then that's what I was thinking about doing, calling him back 2 months before the year ends.
You're right.
So
I wouldn't wait till 2 months before, but okay. I also would open up my lane with this guy like nobody else has by giving him the information. And I would just sell him on, I've got a whole bunch of problems. Talk to Josh, say, or whoever puts the packages together. I need 5 or 6 properties that sold a little above and a little bit below this guy's price range, right? And I want to get that to him. And then, of course, the rest of the package goes, right? But this is a very good long-term prospect. You know why? Nobody's going to get to this guy in 8 months. Nobody. So if he's sitting there in a good system and he pops up for you, you're going to get him, right? But it would be better if we had at least gotten him something to start and then say, hey, I had sent you this. I want to send you a fresh package. We're getting closer. You know what I mean? And by the way, since you're real close now, I'd love to get you to meet with Josh, Jenny, whomever, right? But I do like how you're fighting for this. I think you just need to understand the value of the package that they want or would be curious 5 or 6 properties straight from MLS with pictures and details, just like a realtor. Let me send you what's sold around it, right? When you were on the market, because nobody's doing that for him. Cool.
Okay. Should I call him right away, like next week, or
Sure. I would say, I was thinking I should have explained to you that this wasn't just random broker information. I know you're getting inundated, but I don't know if anybody's taken the time to go into MLS and print out everything around your property in Riverfront that's sold plus or minus your price when you're in the market. That's what I wanted to send. I know you're not going to be ready for a while, but I'd still like you to see what happened, right?
Yeah.
And let's see what happens. If not, no big deal. Put him in a tickler file to call him. I wouldn't wait the 10 months. I'd go 9 months. I'd go 3 months away because he's got to start to get ready and his plans might change, right?
All right. Yes.
Good.
Thank you, Dan.
You're welcome. Eva, I have a link to a telemarketing spreadsheet for you. And do I have a call? Yes, it looks like I do. You with me, Eva? Okay.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. Here we go. Sorry, I caught you off guard.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. Is this Mr. Torges?
Yes.
Okay, right there, just be a little bit more athletically ready. And I know it's tricky when we're calling and nobody's answering, boom, somebody comes. Try to be a little bit more ready about the name, right?
Well, it was the first name. It looked easy until I tried to say it, and then I defaulted to the last name.
I like it. It's good. Just it's tricky, right? We live in a diverse world, and so you're right. It's a little bit tricky, but just try to be a little bit more. Say the name out loud. Say, "Come on, so and so, answer the phone." You know what I mean? Whatever it takes, whatever little game you have to play in your head.
I agree. I understand that.
Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, hi. My name's Eva. I'm with Bozetti Realty. And the reason I'm calling is because I noticed your beautiful home online to sell, and wanted to mail you a package of information that will help you sell it next time. May I do that?
Good.
I didn't put it on the market. I thought, was it on the market?
Well, it shows it was on and it was canceled. Is it on Jacobs Court, Palo Alto? Is that the correct place?
I see. I think you have the wrong number.
Do I have the wrong number? Okay, because it says the first name I can't pronounce. It says Sethiye.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know who that is?
I know the owner, but it's not me.
It's not you. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. He's playing a game with you. He's playing cagey. It's like, are you related to him? Was there a reason? Because you go, I like, Eva, what I like is you did go a little bit further than some of the earlier calls to try to figure out, like Michelle's call, try to figure out what's going on here, right? You got to be a little bit of an investigative sleuth, because sometimes, like, you know the guy? How is your number attached? Are you related? You know what I mean? That would have gotten my curiosity. Because he's not blowing you off, right? He's not blowing you off about the property. He knows it. He's saying this, and he just could be flat out lying that it's him and he's blowing you off, right? So it would be better to dig in a wee bit more and try to figure it out. But this is good. You're good. Just a little bit more athletically ready in the beginning. Very good delivery. Just be careful because you have a very positive tone. Don't sound apologetic. I would inflect down a little bit more. May I do that? Versus may I do that? You see the difference? May I do that? May I do that? Right? It's very subtle, but I want you to be in control of this. And you're feisty. You went into the second beat and you try to figure it out. So it's in you. You know what I mean? To be feisty and bring this to a conclusion. That's good. Right? So what's the first thing we do here? Yesterday on the mastermind, we try to go through the workflow for telemarketers to figure it out. So Allison Egan was mentioning a site that I hadn't heard, truepeoplesearch.com and fastpeoplesearch.com. Drop the name in there, see if you get other numbers, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So just before we kill it, a little bit of administrative effort if, everything was up. You and Gail should go back and watch the mastermind. I know she was in a golf tournament, but from yesterday for Thursday's call, that's not a bad one for you both to listen to at least, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, good job. And I appreciate you sending me your telemarketing tracker, just so you know, 5 gold stars for the student of the day here. She has sent me her telemarketing tracker, so I'm able to look at her metrics and how she did. That was a big topic of conversation yesterday, so that we can, try to get to some standard of understanding and performance for this stuff. That's where we're at here, trying to figure this out. So let me see what this says.
Danny, do you have that recorded call up from yesterday on Teachable?
I don't know. I noticed a Zapier issue with my recordings going in, so let me see. It's funny you should ask that. I just saw a Zapier issue. It's on Facebook though, so I know it's there.
Gotcha.
So you okay? Lots of dials per hour. Lots of call attempts. How are you getting so many call attempts and live conversations? You had your math is interesting here. It says 22 live conversations with 26 deletes. So that's an interesting thing for me. How did we end up deleting more people than we talked to? That would be one thing you should explore with Gail. Okay.
Just phone numbers as well. It's not just people.
Got it. Good answer. The live conversations, that's a lot, right? What would you say about the quality of those live conversations?
Most of them right away told me they were with an agent, or a lot of them were or the wrong person. Most of them. I didn't pitch anybody last week. I didn't have any prospects.
Okay. Again, I'm always concerned about data because that's on us, not you. So could you try to maybe, I'd like to hear a couple of those recordings from you too. So when you get a little bit rejected, by what you think might be bad data, or I'm with a realtor, I'd like to, give me one call that has meat to it, and then a couple of those. I just like to hear them for myself. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I will.
Yeah. And one of the big themes yesterday was slow down. I don't know how you're getting so many dials per hour, but you're speeding through it. So let's just make sure everything is slow motion, because quality matters over quantity, right?
Right. It's true.
Yeah. Good. Excellent though. Very good. Very good. Just need, stay the course, and, you'll have conversations that go your way. Right.
Right. I think that the reason I have so many dials per hour is I really wasn't speaking to anybody, even though it looks like I was.
Yep. Good. No sweat. 22 conversations is a lot. In there, there'll be money. If you have those consistently, that's a lot, right? It'll happen. So.
Okay.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Thank
good.
you.
You're welcome. Ashley, if you're here still, I know I went long here, but let's listen to Ashley's.
I'm calling because I wanted to thank you for using our websites to look for properties online. I want to make sure we're sending you the properties that you want to see. I see that we are sending you the properties in the Roxville area in the price range of $162K to $1.4 million. Is that correct? Okay, do you want me to add any criteria? Okay, sounds great. Well, I'm checking with you to make sure the current listings are coming in. I'd also like to send you a package of information that will help you buy the best property at the best price.
Good.
Can you confirm your best email address, please?
Hard to hear what he's saying, but I can hear him.
Okay, great. All right, so by the way, while I have you here, these are beautiful properties. Why are you thinking about buying?
Ashley, are you with me on the call still?
Okay, I understand. So this would be your first time, so you'd be a first-time home buyer? Okay. Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated are you to buy a property?
Good. This is a good call.
And 10 being the highest. A 10? Sounds great.
Good.
All right. Well, since you are so motivated, highly motivated, I'll be happy to have my broker Lee Stillwell give you a call to show you some properties that you would like to view and that suits you. When would you be available for that? Tomorrow. And what time frame would you say you have in mind to buy a property? By November of this year? All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to send you over the information to your email and you can have a look at that, and then we'll give you a call back, follow up with you. All right? All right, thank you, Bernard. Bye-bye.
Okay, this is a really good call, except at the end, I'm a little confused because I couldn't hear him. This is similar to Kathy's call. I'd be booking him for a phone appointment at least with Lee, because this is a guy who's a 10. He played the game. She sticks to the script beautifully. It's just at the close, I'm a little confused, and I don't hear Ashley or Tracy or Lee if they're here. If you are, you can speak up. Otherwise, I'll just have to end it there. Wondering, yeah, good. Just wondering a little bit why there wasn't a close for an appointment, because I couldn't hear the other side of the call too well.
Yeah, I don't know why, because I haven't actually heard that.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear what he said, but I had a feeling maybe he said maybe it's 6 months out or something like that.
Something about his credit?
Sorry?
Something about his credit, maybe he was working on?
Yeah, I couldn't hear that. So
Yeah. All right. Well, I would investigate it because it's really a nearly perfect call, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a
Yeah, she's been doing really good. I got her focused on sync buyers.
Yep.
And she's got a good amount in her pipeline manager.
Yeah. Not surprised. That's very patient. It's very articulate. It's very smooth. And I told you I thought she would do well with that kind of stuff, and she did. She proved us right. It's just that I'd watch for that close. I would have her cheat towards closing for something, because, like I said to Kathy, there might be a solvable in there where you can expedite it. Not, I'll give you a little call back later. It's so good till that point, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that I'm going to have Tracy tell her a little bit about asking for a phone appointment at the very least.
Yeah, definitely.
Tracy actually set me up with on an expired phone appointment, and I called the guy and said I'm busy, and then she followed up with him. Now I got an appointment Monday with him. So.
Yep. Good. Really, really happy for you. I mean, finally you get some semblance of order on this side of the ball. You can see what it sounds like when you get the right person to do the right job. Period.
Yeah.
Right. So good. That's encouragingly very. And it's a good opportunity for everybody to hear. We're going to be shifting, some of our discussion into this whole side of, what goes on here with the buy side, because the buy side is going to change, right? So.
Yeah, this is like I told you. I mean, these are all my sync leads that we've been ignoring, but I decided to go at over medium price and up buyers to see what we can come up with.
Yeah, good, awesome, good, real good start, real good. We'll talk more about it in your one-on-one next week, but very good. Yeah, very good. All right, gang, listen, we went 90 minutes here today. We spent a little time in the beginning. I appreciate everybody that hung in there today and sent calls in. Very good. Bravo, bravo, bravo. All good stuff. So just keep improving and stick to the yellow brick road. Be ready. And remember the laws that we taught you that dictate this stuff. We didn't make this stuff up lightly. This is a system. Stick to it. And good things like a couple of these effective calls here today where appointments were booked were very good. Very encouraging. That's money on the other end of those phone calls. All right, gang. See you later.